People who downloaded their Google data and went through it. What were the most unsettling things you found out they had stored about you? Lots of recordings of me asking the Google Assistant stupid questions. What's your favorite example? Google has recordings of me saying, "Okay Google, tell me a joke." That was the stupidest fucking joke I've ever heard in my life. Single quote. God, that's how I talk to my Google all the time when it triggers because of an ad. Something I said. Or something someone in a video said. I don't want it to interrupt what I'm watching because it doesn't understand I have no use for it. That I'm a 64-year-old woman. I'm a 40-year-old man. I dunno. See, I don't know you, but Google is pretty reliable. Have you tried being a 64-year-old woman? Wow, thanks, he's cured lol. Found out my wife was addicted to a mobile game and had dropped $6,500 on it over the last year and a half. That's set of a string of fun conversations. About a year ago I had a stroke. I only found out exactly when. After going through my Google history and finding that I Googled, loss of balance sudden, right after that moment. The fact that they saved every link you visited if you use Chrome or Google. That's kind of fucked up. And hearing recordings of the Google Assistant. When you didn't even say, "Hey Google." Oh. And a full track record of your location in coordinates with timestamps. So they just save everywhere you have ever been as long as you don't turn it off in settings. Old naked pics of X. I thought I deleted it. But Google stored in cloud. Weird. Edit. Stop asking about the photos. It is not funny. Because Google knew you had deleted them from your phone but not from your heart. It's mostly zipped files and I can't understand it, but they appear to track my location several times per minute with the exact GPS coordinates. I think I turned location history off, not sure if they still do. They also for some reason had the movie, Unplanned, listed with words like gross, distasteful, unsettling, which were an indication of my feelings about this movie. No other movies or TV shows were listed in this manner. Recordings of whole conversations where it thought I said "Okay Google" and then kept recording for a half hour. Classic mistake. I also sometimes think that someone said my name and then listen intently, making notes on everything said for the next 30 minuets. Could happen to anyone really. My voice in conversations. After that I immediately deleted all of them. And disabled "Okay Google." When you listen to saved voice commands you can hear the recording start well before you actually call for Siri etc. Indicating everything our phone hears could be saved somewhere for whatever reason. No. But yes. Kind of. All smart speakers and phones who listen to a command have the microphone active all the time. The important part is, the recording is deleted almost instantly unless the device recognizes the specific command. Then the recording, which can include a few seconds prior to the command, is sent to their servers to process your request. They are doing lots of creepy stuff. But while you can't be completely sure, it's highly unlikely that they are recording you all the time. There are more efficient ways to get what they want. The mic needs to be on 24/7 or else they couldn't use activation words. But Amazon doesn't want to store 16 hours a day of ambient noise from your house any more than you want them to. If there isn't anyone talking in the recording, then it isn't particularly useful for them. How much of our conversations they have saved is up for debate. But there's no reason to assume they save every second of audio recorded. Quite a while ago I took an up-close picture of someone's butthole. Bekkasu they asked me to. Thinking they had a hemorrhoid or something. Genius me says great. My phone is right here. Genius them says great. And pulled down their pants. Speed cheek, so I took an up-close pic so they could look at their own butthole. In hindsight, a mirror would have been a much better idea. So they look at the picture. And I delete it right away. About 2 years later I was going through pics on my Gmail account and most were ones I remembered and wanted to keep. Then up pops the butthole. I deleted it from the computer. But as was unsettling that it had been stored for years after I deleted it. I am not a tech person at all. So maybe it could have been avoided. But I am done taking pictures of buttholes. I don't wanna know how many dick pics are still stored somewhere. Even if deleted. I could see everywhere I went to for months with exact times I went there and left, and that's without my GPS turned on. I found it kinda freaky. What's really scary? You can call and get a copy of all your recordings. But sometimes they send out the wrong ones. You then have hours of recordings of someone else. Intimate details, addresses, credit cards, etc. I only looked through one of the 15 parts and stopped. That's how you know it was bad. He found multiple pictures of myself I don't remember taking. Or at least have never uploaded anywhere. All of my search history. Every YouTube video I have ever watched. I didn't bother looking anymore because obviously they literally have all info about my online life since the start. Is it really surprising that Google has everything you viewed on YouTube, a Google service, and everything you've searched on Google? If they had pictures of me taking a shower taken from in a bush outside my house, I'd be scared. But anything Google related is surely to be expected. Yeah, I mean, all my browsing history is expected. I used to use Chrome. I mean, it's right there in the history tab. And it syncs between devices. Obviously they store it. I don't really find this all that creepy. It's not very difficult if you really want to not use Google in most circumstances. There's a lot of more privacy-focused, less intrusive alternatives to most of their services bar YouTube. Google had a recorded clip of my boyfriend saying, "I'm freezing my nips off." Single quote. I find it funny knowing Google has a recording of every time I try to use OK Google while driving. And then me subsequently yelling at it for not working properly. I called someone an ugly bitch in a YouTube comment section in 2012.